Shalom, Kohala, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, Hashem Kakadash, double understood the elder apostles of GMS, including the elder that came before them and taught us his truth. Shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word of truth and the sincerity of the hopeful light tabernacle of David. The brother Yashuan back with the World War III daily update. All right, got a thumbs down yesterday. Somebody was hurt because you're on the side of the Ukraine. That makes you a Nazi. When you do the study, you do the research, okay? World War III is a lot like World War II. It involves Nazis, it involves Russians, it involves the United States of America, okay? And under Project Paperclip, if you understand what that is, look it up, all right? Part of the Nazi scientists went back to America, the other part went to Russia, or the Soviet Union at the time, meaning the Ukraine. You look at NASA, sounds a lot like Nazi, all right? Well, who was Werner von Braun? Well, he was one of the Nazi scientists that came back to the United States and created the NASA program. So what were they doing in Nazi Germany before they broke that thing up? Well, they were making UFOs. How about that? Look up Honeybu. Honeybu 1, 2, and 3. Diglocke, Dieglocké. All right? And wake the hell up. And put your thumbs down right back out there. And when you do, why don't you explain why you put it on there in the comments section so I can eat you up. All right, anyway, here's World War III in the Bible. Okay? Now, what I'm about to read is dealing with World War III. In the middle of World War III, everybody's going to stop fighting. The nations are going to stop fighting each other because they're going to come together so that they can fight against who you ignorantly call Jesus Christ and the angels. And this, what I'm going to read right here, 2 Ezra 13 and 5, is at that point in World War III, all right? And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. Well, who came out of the sea? That man that waxed strong with the thousands of heaven, the one you ignorantly call Jesus, and the angels. Okay? So this is World War III. Had to bring it to a halt because they had bigger fish to fry. The angels, which you call UFOs, and the one you ignorantly call Jesus, is flying in a spaceship. All right? Whether you understand the truth or not. It is what it is. Okay? Skeletor has some things to say. This is World War III moving. Okay? It's full spectrum survival today. Get ready. Russia is moving nuclear weapons in Moscow. Things just got worse. Let's listen to you.
If you have friends and family that are not ready yet, time might be running out. We are seeing major moves and movements from NATO, from Russia, from China, from the United States of America. There's a large disagreement between what they are saying and what they are doing. What we have happening right now is NATO is reported to be on high alert after the NATO Secretary General warned Russia, saying that we are watching what Russia is doing, its maneuvers, and all that it is saying, its statements about the use of nuclear weapons. You remember Russia said that they do not, quotes around the word, intend to use nuclear weapons in this current war. The United States of America says that they do not intend to escalate the conflict with Russia. And in response to Russia stressing that Putin does not intend to use these nuclear weapons between the East and the West, the current administration is warning that we, as the United States of America as a whole, along with NATO, do not seek, quotes around that word, a war between NATO and Russia. You see, there's a large disagreement, a large disparity between what they're saying and what they're doing. Russia is continuing to escalate a global conflict. China is preparing to launch a conflict in the South China Sea. The United States of America is sending too much of its weapons and, of course, too much of our money to the Russian opposition. That's taxpayer money that's going there. Did they ask you first? I know they didn't ask me first. We have a huge challenge that is laying ahead of us, and a lot of our family members maybe aren't ready for it. They either choose to not be ready, they don't want to see the signs of the times for what they are. They want to believe that there will always be food on the store shelves and that the police will always come protect them. EMS will always be there to band-aid their little knee when they scrape it. They want to believe that they can be coddled their entire life. But that's simply not true.
Because we're going into a wartime footing. World War III, in the middle of World War III, okay, they're going to stop fighting each other. Let's get more on that. Okay? This is World War III right here. Let's see. Hold on. Salaki. Let me get it so that you can read it. Start right here at 29. That's the second Ezra 13 and 29. Behold, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth. How is he going to do that? With his Son. And he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth. Here's World War III. And one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another. And then here's where the angels and the one you call Jesus get into the fight. And one realm against another. Okay? And the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and the signs shall happen, which I showed thee before. And then shall my sons, God saying, then shall my son be declared, whom thou sawest, as a man ascending. And when all the people hear his voice, every man shall in their own land, meaning their nation, leave the battle, World War III, they have one against, they're going to stop fighting each other and come together to do what? And an innumerable multitude, same one up there, shall be gathered together as thou sawest them, willing to come and to overcome him, who? His son, by fighting. Okay? Same thing we read up here. After this I beheld, and lo, there was a gathered together a multitude of men out of number, to subdue the men that came out of the sea. What man? That man waxed strong. Okay? Now, what did Ronald Reagan say? Ronald Reagan told you what was going to happen. Let's see what Ronnie said in the 80s. Let's see.
All the members of humanity. Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bond.
F-18.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. And yet I ask you, is not an alien force already among us?
Yeah, the men of the Lord. Telling you, the prophets of Yahweh Shemel Shah are telling you what's going to happen. They already know. So that's the F-35 crosshairs on what? On the angels.
War and the threat of war.
Okay, so once again, in the middle of World War III, okay, they're going to stop fighting each other and come together to fight against the angels and the one you ignorantly call Jesus, whose name is Yahushua. 2 Ezra 13 and 33. And when all the people hear his voice, meaning see those laser beams coming out of those spaceships, every man shall in their own land, meaning the nation that they're from, leave the battle they have one against another. That's World War III. They're going to stop fighting each other, just like Reagan just said, because they have bigger fish to fry. And an innumerable multitude, all the armies of the world, shall be gathered together as thou sawest them, willing to come and overcome him by fighting. All right, let's get it right here in Revelation. We'll close. This thing's acting a damn fool. Bear with me. This damn thing. Okay. All right. Bear with me for a moment. It's Revelation 19 and 19. Then put your thumbs down and mark yourself. You ain't getting out of this. Revelation 19 and 19. And I saw the beast. Who's the beast? NATO and the EU. And the kings of the earth, Xi Jinping, Vladimir Putin, Trudeau, okay, and their armies. So all of these are fighting against each other. But they stopped fighting in World War III. Then they came together, gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. Well, who sat on the horse and his army? Revelation 19 and 11. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse. That's that spaceship. And he that sat upon him was called faithful and true, and in righteousness doth he judge and make war. So he came to get in the world. He wanted some of World War III himself. And the armies which were with him in heaven followed him upon white horses, the chariots of Israel, UFOs, clothed in linen, clothed in fine linen, white and clean, okay? The angels of God, all right? So the point is, World War III is ramping up and nobody can stop it. It's the next phase. Revelation 11 and 14. The second woe, World War II, is past. And behold, the third woe, World War III, cometh quickly. All right, so with that, we hope that elect or edify you brothers and few sisters. With that, we say shalom.